You may be seated.
Hello, Your Honor.
Hello.
This is a case of Mccrory versus Mento Smith.
Thank you, Ron. Good day, everyone. Good day. Ms. Mccrory, you and your husband claim the defendant's ex-husband, Mr. Gino Bailey, who recently passed away, fathered your 3-year-old daughter, Nevaeh. You say you will return to court to fight for your share of Social Security death benefits after today's test proves he is the father. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Smith, you and your daughter say it would be medically impossible for your ex-husband to be the child's biological father and state the Mccrorys are in this only for the money. Ms. Smith, how can you be so sure that your ex-husband isn't the father of Miss Mccrory's baby?
Because she's in it for the money. That's
Really?
all she wants is the money.
Why do you say that?
This is the proof of the survival benefits that my daughter...
I'd like to see that. Will you pass that to me, Ron?
Well,
Yeah.
the thing is, I believe I have every right to the money. Because if it's, he's the father of her, I know 100% he is, and he should support her.
Go.
But you understand that Ms. Smith nor Ms. Mento, they don't have anything to do with how the Social Security office divvies out death benefits. You understand they are not in charge of that.
Yes, I do.
If she believed that my late ex-husband was the father of her child, why didn't she get a DNA test before he died? Why did she wait until after he died and then 2 days later messaged my daughter and asked for her to give a DNA test?
So you're saying the timing of this is off.
Yes,
So
I do.
that's a good question, Ms. Mccrory. Why did you wait?
I didn't wait. I heard when I was with her father, Gino. He actually wanted to take a DNA test, but he wouldn't because of his current girlfriend he was with, because she didn't want him involved with me. I know that he's the father to my child because he's the only one I'm sleeping with. So she has a right to the benefits. He should support her.
He can't support her if he's dead.
I believe that all
Ms.
she wants
Mento?
is the money.
Yeah.
I see this is upsetting.
Okay.
It's hard to hear people talk about your dad and the fact that he may potentially have another child, Ms. Mento.
I really don't care if she is my sister. I won't have nothing to do with it. Because I had 19 years and I want to remember my father the way he was, being his only little girl.
Yes.
When I spoke to my father, he told me that it wasn't his. He said there's no possibility, she looks nothing like him.
And then you chose to believe your father. That's what
Yes,
you were
I believe
told.
my father.
Okay. In your court papers, you also say that it is medically impossible for Ms. Mccrory's child to be your sibling. How is that the case? Explain it.
He had a medical condition that was to do with the XY chromosome. If he had gotten someone pregnant, it could end up as a miscarriage.
Wow,
Okay.
that's not what you said. You told me he cannot have kids
Will
at
you
all.
let me speak, please?
Well, you're lying.
I'm not lying. I have the proof right here.
All right, let me see this paperwork. Ron, can you pass
This
it
is
to
the
me,
proof
please?
from the chromosome specialist
Your Honor.
Two different
from where I live,
stories.
from in Massachusetts, where I'm from. It took me 3 years to get pregnant with Sierra when I was married to my late ex-husband.
Okay.
Miracles do happen.
Okay? They have called
So
Sierra
stupid.
a miracle baby. She has inherited the same chromosome as he had. This is the reason why she is having a hard time conceiving. We told her that he had a medical chromosome condition.
You did not.
And she sat right there and called us a liar that it wasn't true.
So you're saying you did inform her?
She was informed
Because
about
let's
it.
be honest, if in fact this, Nevaeh is in fact his biological daughter, the same issue your daughter has inherited, she potentially could have
Exactly.
inherited.
Exactly.
So the stakes are even higher here. There's the paternity issue. You're saying there's also the survivor's benefits issue, potentially. And now there's a medical condition at issue.
She might not have known of the medical issue at that point when she was with him, but we, both my daughter and I, told her about it, and she called us a liar.
So,
It's not, because I'm going by what he told me.
Ms. Mccrory, let me, we've had a lot of talk about the deceased. I have to ask you this. During that window of conception, that time, were you intimate with anyone else?
No. up until I was intimate with him from August until November.
And there was no one else in the
2011.
picture. Do you remember the night you believe you conceived?
Yes, I mean, it was brown sheets with flowers and everything, and we did it like all night long, 3 times.
That I can guarantee.
Well, you know
didn't
what?
do.
You must not know. Maybe you weren't good enough then.
I was married to the.
Okay, hold on. And let's keep the testimony respectful. So you believe that was the time you
Yes.
conceived? And shortly thereafter, that's when you found out you were pregnant and informed?
Yeah, after we kind of like drifted apart because I wasn't gonna be with a male whore. I'm sorry to say it that way, but that's what he was.
And one of his relatives even said growing up, they called him male gigolo. And there's even another child saying that he's her father
okay.
out there.
Yeah, now that he's dead.
No, it was
she's
she
always
said
said
when
that
she,
to me.
she's always said it when he
But
was
you know
alive.
what? We're not here to discuss anybody else. We're here to discuss your child.
Yeah, my
You know
child.
what? You're making my late ex-husband turned out to be
That's what
some
he-
kind of idiot, but in
No, he's
reality,
really not. No,
I know
honestly,
you're
he's not.
lying.
He was a good man.
That's why you called him a man whore.
Well, that's what he is.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. So, Ms. Smith, who do you believe the father is?
I
do
think
you
it's
know?
her husband, Mr. Mccrory.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Oh, wait a minute. You believe that the
God,
child's
this-
real biological father
pissing me
is
off.
her current husband, Mr. Mccrory, and you believe this is a plot. This is a
I wouldn't put it
conspiracy
past you.
I wasn't
between the
even
two of them
with her.
to try to get the survivor's benefits.
The whole situation is that my late ex-husband is very dark-featured. His daughter, very dark-featured.
Really?
Okay,
Seems white to me.
I think Nevaeh looks like Mr. Mccrory.
Ms. Mccrory, who's on the birth certificate?
My husband.
Oh,
I can explain
okay,
why.
so why?
I know, I can explain
Do
why.
you have the birth certificate with you? I'd like to
Yes, I
see
do.
that.
Yeah, we do.
Ron, let me see this birth certificate.
I took responsibility because he didn't want to. He said that he was
Because I
about
was his
to
one
get
and
rid
only.
of.
You're not his one and only. He said that I don't want to be involved because my daughter's gonna be 18 now, I have to pay child support, and I don't want to pay again.
I
He
wasn't
had to pay
18.
child support till she was 21 years old.
He said 18 to me.
No, it was 21.
Well, that's what he told
was
me.
All right, ladies, let's get some control. This is the certificate of live birth. The child's name, Nevaeh Mccrory, and father's name is listed as your current husband, Keith Mccrory. Now, Mr. Mccrory, you said you stepped up to the plate because he didn't want to.
Yes.
Obviously.
So by the time the child was born, you were married to Miss Mccrory, or you all were dating?
We were dating. He knew that he was the father because there was several times I met him in a drugstore and ran into him, and he's sitting there saying that, oh, she's got my eyes, and smirking at me. Oh, she's got my fangs. She looks just like me. And he actually texted my wife at the day of birth and said, congratulations, and can I see her?
Really?
Yes.
He did.
And you saw this text?
Yes,
Yes,
he did.
I did.
He was with us the day your daughter was born.
He texted me on my cell phone.
And why would a man want to step up to be a father of someone else's father that was
He's not
well and
the
alive?
father.
Yeah.
When I got with my,
Are you stupid?
Obviously.
I went to every doctor's appointment. I went to the ultrasounds, and then I was basically with her for the whole pregnancy, which she wasn't. And so I fell in love with that child, and I'm going to be with her for the rest of my life and get married to her. So why not take responsibility for somebody who couldn't, he denied?
You just wanted to step up to the plate for a child born to the woman you love and you plan to spend the rest of your life with.
Yes, why-
So you thought you were doing the right thing.
Yes.
Now, Mr. and Ms. Mccrory, you are so convinced that Ms. Mento's dad is the father that you submitted some photos.
Yes, Shauna.
On the left, we have photos of Nevaeh,
His fangs and her fangs.
and then on the right, Mr. Bailey.
Yes.
No resemblance.
And they're in the same spot and everything. The eyes, they're big, huge. They got the
They're
same
not-
setting.
Her eyes are bigger than his.
So the court obtained photos of Nevaeh, which is pictured
look
on the
just alike.
left,
No, they don't.
and Miss Mento
Okay.
as a child on the right. Do you see a resemblance there?
No.
Yeah, it's a
No.
different hair color, but the facials, the nose, the mouth, it
No.
looks just like.
You're gonna say no because you don't want it to be true.
No. I'm not going to sit
That's
here
what
and
it is.
lie. If she looked like my daughter, I'd say she did. I don't believe she does.
The fact is she's still in love with him, and she can't see anybody else with him, sleeping with him, or
He
anybody
actually
else
told me
having
that
a
once,
child.
how you're all still in love with him, always bugging him.
She'll always
You know
be in
what,
love with
something?
him.
He
She
was
has a
my
child.
true love and my only love, okay? He never even liked you.
Well,
I was
he must
the one
have liked
that
me
was
to want
married at him.
to sleep with me.
She has done nothing but harass my daughter
Nope.
for 2 years.
Nope.
And I have some proof from,
Yeah.
we made a memorial.
That's what I want to see. Is some proof.
We made him.
Ron, let me have that proof. What
we
is
made
this
a memorial
proof of,
page in
Ms.
honor
Smith?
of him when he died. So they decided to go onto the memorial page and message the administrators, which is me, myself, and my son-in-law. And this is just some of the stuff that they text or wrote to me.
So you put up a memorial page.
I'm the one that made it.
She
You
did.
did for your dad once he passed away. And then you got messages that said from the Mccrorys, listen, you're not daddy's only little girl, newsflash.
We've had-
And a message that said, don't worry, you'll meet daddy's girl soon. Hope you're a good big sister.
Yeah, that's
Why would you put this up on the memorial
That's
page?
just, I put it up there because, it's just saying,
No.
I can't wait for her to meet her sister, and,
No, why
I
don't
want
you-
other
why don't
people
you
to
say
know
the
that
truth?
that's the
No,
kid.
this did not have a good intention.
And
Let's not
defending yourself.
pretend.
And there's
Hold
been-
on. Now I want to hear the testimony, but don't feed me.
I need-
Listen, that does not say Boo Boo the fool. You did not put this on that page with any good intention.
But see, this is the thing.
So why do that to her after her father passed away?
We've been harassed for 4 years. She would make fake profiles of my wife and my stepdaughter.
So in other words, you're doing this to get back at her.
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna get angry.
Right, so don't testify in the beginning that you were doing it because you were so happy for her to meet her little sister. That's a lie. Just tell the truth from the get-go. You think I can't sit here and see that this has been years of back and forth drama between you all? So all I'm saying is, don't feed me a bunch of lies like I'm gonna believe that when you know good and well you had no good intention behind sending that. Just say, we've been on a Facebook social media war and I wanted to get back at them. I might not like it, but at least I know it's not a lie.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm done with this. Ron, give me the results.
Yes, ma'am.
Listen to this. Fake profiles, fake. Everybody fake. No, really.
They are.
This is just a mess. There is a child, a 3-year-old child, that has no clue who her father is. And if Mr. Bailey is her biological father, he's deceased.
Let him.
We got bigger fish to fry than this nonsense. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. Ms. Smith, you have testified today that you believe Mr. Mccrory is in fact Nevaeh's biological father.
Yes.
We had him tested. In the case of Mccrory v. Mento Smith, when it comes to 3-year-old Nevaeh Mccrory, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Mccrory, you are not the father.
Thank you.
Told you.
Are we ready for the next result?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, because there wasn't a blood card available to test the DNA of the deceased, Gino Bailey, we perform what's called a sibling test in order to determine if Nevaeh Mccrory is the sister of Sierra Marie Mento. Both Rose Marie Mccrory and Tina Marie Smith were also tested in order to determine if there is a viable relationship between Nevaeh and Sierra Marie. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Moving forward with the results in the case of Mccrory v. Mento Smith. Do you want to watch Paternity Court on TV? Go to paternitycourt.tv to find your local listings. Moving forward with the results in the case of Mccrory v. Mento Smith. It has been determined by this court that Nevaeh Mccrory and Sierra Marie Mento are not related.
Yes.
Told you.
Yes, told you.
Now we're both even.
Now the harassment can stop.
Yeah, well, then maybe you better find out who your baby daddy is.
Baby.
Ms. Mccrory? Yes. Why don't you look surprised? I read the result, and honey, you just flipped that page right on to the next and went to arguing over it, Miss Smith. Now, you testified here for a good 30 minutes of my time that there was no other possible father in the world. When I read the results, moving on, I have to ask you, do you know who your child's father is?
I know who, but I'm not saying in here.
You don't have to tell me the name. I just want to know if you know.
Yeah.
Because that's what's important.
But I'm not saying it.
I'm happy if this whole situation with Nevaeh and her real biological father can be solved in the living room instead of the courtroom. Trust me, we're here as a last resort. We are here for families who need us because they can't get down to the bottom of the situation without us. That's what we do here. But if you can leave out of this courtroom and dial that man's number and say, hey, I'd like to talk to you, I have some information, and you all never have to come see me, thank you, Lord. No, really. We have counseling for you. Take advantage of it. I see you're in tears, Miss Smith.
It's happy tears, though.
Absolutely. Because that's your little girl. Do right by Nevaeh. She's such a beautiful little girl.
Yes, she is.
Thank you.
I wish you all the very best of luck. Court is adjourned.